Welcome back to Just Scrap Radio on PJPen.com. I'm your host, Cole Shelton. Episode 180 is live at UC Vegas 99. But first up, we're actually joined by Mario Bautista to recap his win against Jose Aldo and kind of all the backlash he's received from that from the fight and kind of what he thought of the decision and all that. But really good chat with Mario. And then we're going to be joined by Brady Hiestand to preview his fight against Jake Hadley. This is a fight that kind of caught Hiestand by surprise. Didn't think he would be getting someone like Hadley. He just thought he was going to be close to that top 15, but this is a fight he's really looking forward to. He thinks he'll win over Hadley, secures him that top 15 guy. But be sure to share the show, subscribe, and tune in next week for another episode of Just Scrap Radio. All right, we're jumping UFC bandweight Mario Bautista, who picked up a big win over the weekend at UFC 307. Mario, how's it going, man?
It's going pretty good, thank you.
Did kind of start on fight week, like going to Utah. I know we talked about the elevation just because you trained at Arizona, you didn't think it was that big of a deal. Like looking back, like do you think it was like a big deal for you at all? Or do you think because you've already like lived in elevation, not a huge deal for you?
No, it wasn't a big deal. I feel like I didn't really feel the elevation there that whole week. I also did that elevation training tent as well leading up to that fight. So it's nothing like I noticed like a significant thing, like, oh, I feel it or anything. So it was no big deal.
And going into this fight, like I know we spoke about all those takedown defense and how he is really good at that, and kind of even talked about Marab, how he was able to just kind of control him against defense. Is that a big part of the game plan? Is just like if you don't get him down, like you can at least kind of control him, similar to how you did in that fight. Like, is that part of the game plan going into it?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't like a huge game plan. It was just going to be more of like in my mind, I kind of put it like, okay, I just got to keep attempting, because I was thinking like he was just going to brush off these takedowns, which is fine. He's kind of, brushes off everyone's takedown. But then once I kind of got him to the cage, he just kind of stayed there. So like, it just wasn't too many attempts. It was just kind of like, okay, I got in, but he's not getting out kind of deal. So, and that's just kind of something that happened during the fight. It kind of turned into that. So, like I said, I wasn't really trying to hold him against the fence. It's just kind of, something where I got him there and just realized like, it's not that people hold him there. It's more of the fact that he just does not get off when he doesn't have urgency to get off.
I was listening to Big John McCarthy's podcast about your fight because I was curious what he had to say, and he was saying like, for everyone that was complaining, like it is on Aldo to move if like he wanted to do something. For everyone that's saying like, oh, like Aldo should have won just because you were just pushing him, like it was that kind of frustrating seeing all the reception and like. But then on the flip side, you see like actual fighters and us be like, well, no, like that is kind of on Aldo. Like he's the one that has to move if something's gonna happen.
Yeah, I mean, it is on Aldo, and that's crazy. Like someone at his level and his caliber that he kind of does that, and like this is something I learned like before I got into the UFC, during sparring sessions, during fights. If I'm stuck on the cage, like I'm getting yelled at, to circle off the cage, get an underhook, circle, and we work techniques to get off the cage. So I don't know, it just kind of was weird and turned into something. It just turned into a weird fight for me.
After that first round, you had a lot of success. I know the second round, like it seems like Aldo was more like picking his shots, not really throwing a whole lot. Like he's thrown with more damage rather than volume. Like that's surprising that he wasn't too active on the feet.
No, I knew he'd kind of be like that. He's not really like a volume striker anyway. He's more conservative. Um, and I don't know if he just has like a cardio issue kind of thing. Maybe it's just his style, but it all makes sense. Like his style is striking, very explosive, not very active. His time on the cage, like he kind of waits there and rests up, kind of deal. And he'll just kind of wait for big moments. He won't add up the volume. He'll wait for big moments. And, that never really came for him.
I actually think because he fought Marab in Utah, like in his last UFC fight before he came back. And then I was like, and I know he like gassed out in that fight. So I was wondering, like, maybe it's like something I thought of, like, oh, maybe in the back of his head, he's like, well, I can't have that happen again. Like maybe that's why he was kind of doing what he was doing with you.
Yeah, no, maybe that was a thing for him. And I feel like a lot of fighters got there early, and I feel like he has like, the team and the funds to get to Salt Lake and have a team there. If he really wanted to fix that issue. He could have, but I feel like, you know, he either stayed in Brazil and I don't know what he did over there, but he just didn't do what these other fighters did for that, you know, elevation issue.
I think a lot of people had the fight 1-1 going into third. Is that how you kind of had it in your mind too? Is that how your corner was telling you?
Yeah. Oh, well, they didn't tell me anything, but I just kind of felt like I was up at the end of the fight. I knew I had the first. The second, he caught me with a good knee. He cut me, kind of had me backtracking a little bit. But going into, I knew I won like the fight, but I just didn't know how the judges were going to kind of react to like the crowd, you know, with all the like the cheering and booing and this and that. So, you know, it just kind of got weird there.
Yeah, because I thought you won first and third is how I had it. Like I thought you won. I was kind of a bit surprised. It was a split. Like when when they read off a split, you're fighting like a legend like Aldo. Like, was there a split second where you're like, yeah, they're gonna give it to him? Like I lost this one.
Yeah, once they say split, it's just kind of like a toss up, you know, like, oh, well, we'll see what happens. So, um, yeah, and luckily it went my way.
Are you happy with that performance? Like I know you always kind of go out there to get the finish. Aldo's a tough guy to put away. He's a tough guy to fight, but like just being a legend like that, like are you happy with that performance at all?
Yeah, yeah, I am happy with it, but I know I could be happier if it was like kind of a different performance, you know. But that's just kind of like the way the fight played out, you know. It just I can't control like what he does. You know, it could have been a way more exciting fight if he, you know, circled off the cage and got off, you know, and kind of force us to kind of be where he wants to be, but he couldn't even do that. So, um, yeah, it was weird. If I can go back, I would definitely switch some things up. But you know, you live and learn, and you get the experience, and then you apply that to the next thing. So.
Has it been frustrating for you since the fight? Like it's supposed to be like your big moment, like the biggest win of your career, beating a legend like Aldo, and kind of uh, you're getting booed after when you announce the winner. Kind of everyone since, like I've been pretty critical. Like I've seen a lot of people saying like, "Oh no, Aldo won," like, "Oh Martin should have won." Like, has it been frustrating just kind of seeing the reception since the fight? Because like this must be kind of breakthrough fight for you.
Yeah, it's been a little frustrating. You know, it's still like kind of a breakthrough, but kind of like more of in a negative manner. Um, but yeah, um, like looking back at it now, it's just like I didn't realize like it would almost be like a lose-lose situation. You know, even if I did go out there and starch the guy, like I would still get all this hate and this and that. Um, so I don't know. It's been a weird post fight. Definitely different.
What is kind of the time frame for you to return then?
I'm hoping as soon as possible. I've been telling my manager, and you know, I kind of want to get back, you know, early next year. I don't want to have a long layoff like I did this last time. So hopefully, the UFC does that for me.
Will there be a bit of a chip on your shoulder with that next fight? Try to like kind of prove a lot of these doubters wrong after this one. Just kind of like shut up a lot of the critics.
No, no, because I really don't care about them. They could say whatever. It's just, you know, I just kind of want to make more of a statement. You know, my next fight, and hopefully, I get like a good matchup, like where I can kind of show more. Um, but yeah, no, I'm not thinking, oh, I got to go out there and please everyone. So I don't know. Well, we'll see.
Do you have anyone in mind? Because I actually think there's two names. You could say they're dumb. I think it's Chito Vera, just because like he's lost a couple big name, like he kind of has to fight someone back. Or I think it's a Sandhagen rematch, just because that fight happened so long ago. Like it was your UFC debut, like on short notice. Sandhagen's kind of in a weird spot where he's lost to a lot of the top guys. Like so, those are the kind of two names that I thought made sense for you.
Yeah. No, I think Cheeto might be out till next year. I think I remember reading that somewhere that I think he just wants to like chill out a little bit. I would like that Sandhagen fight. But then honestly, anyone that's just in front of me, I would take whoever they would give me. I would take no matter what. So,
Is there any ever talk of like maybe getting the main event that next fight, getting that first 5 round experience out of the way?
um, I mean that would be nice. You know, I know. Yeah, I don't know who they would give me. I would definitely be on the B side. I know they'd probably want me to get, you know, beat up on TV or something. So whoever they put me against, if that's who they want, like on a main our main event, I would definitely do it, because I do need that experience of a 5 round fight. I would like to experience that. So hopefully we get that soon with someone.
We haven't talked since the O'Malley fight. What I know you've trained him pretty closely, so what you make of that fight and his performance against Marab?
Yeah, I thought it was a good fight. Marab did good. He had a good game plan. But at the same time, obviously Sean was hurt with that torn labrum, and I felt like it kind of showed in that fight. Because I've seen Sean fight, I've seen him spar, and I know how good he is, and it just didn't really show up that night. And like, it's from the camp, it's from injuries and stuff like that. So I think 9 times out of 10, I think Sean beats Marab.
And for just because it's in your division, like how would you kind of see that Umar Marab fight playing out? I think that's pretty interesting. Like I think Umar's kind of been running through everyone, but like Marab's wrestling, I think could give him a lot of problems, especially if he can. And he just has a relentless gas tank. That's insane. Like Marab literally doesn't get.
Yeah, no, I think Marab not. I think Umar will beat Marab. I think Umar has like the same wrestling and grappling. Where he trains at with those guys. Like I think they can fully prepare him for that fight. I think Umar has better striking. I think he's a better overall grappler. I mean, I think he's just as good as Marab at wrestling, but I think Umar has better, other jujitsu techniques or samba, whatever they do over there. Um, so I think Umar can take it.
Just final thing, like what is kind of the goal then for you going forward? I imagine you probably won't get another one in this year just because with time frames, like it's kind of the goal going forward for you.
Yeah, hopefully get back in there as soon as possible. Hopefully, by early next year, get a good fight, put this fight behind me, and 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 that's about it. Just keep moving forward and go get that 8th win.
Well, Mario, I appreciate the time as always. Thanks so much for doing this again.
Thank you, Cole. I appreciate it, man.
All right, we're jumping to UFC bantamweight Brady Hiestand, who's back in action on October 19th. Brady, how's it going, man?
Dude, just living the dream out here. Excited.
Uh, been a bit since I saw you, like June. Like, I guess that is a pretty quick turnaround. Like, is this about the right time frame for you then?
Yeah. No, I'm actually super excited about this. I wanted to be more active, and so no injuries. I'm feeling good, and so yeah, I'm excited to get back in there. I think what is that, like 4 months?
Yeah,
I
which
think
is
that's
pretty quick than what most guys are getting.
yeah. No, I'm happy about it. They offered the fight for November, but apparently it wasn't going to happen on his end, and so then they're thinking about December. But I was like, I'll take the fight whenever. So they offered October, and I was like, fuck it, let's go.
Quickly on your last fight, like, what do you take away from that? Like, another one where you kind of show your heart, you come back from getting hurt, and then you kind of get another big win. Like, what do you kind of take away from that fight?
That I shouldn't get hit. I do. I think I know everyone knows that you're gonna have to kill me to get me out of there. So I'm gonna keep coming. I got cardio for days, and you're gonna have to. I don't think I'm killable. I think you can do whatever you want. I think those are kill shots. I think that what Garrett threw me was a kill shot, and I just don't think anyone can stop me. So I think this guy should be scared because he doesn't have the power of him or anyone else I fought, and I'll just keep coming his way. Have been working on the defense just so everyone knows. So I'm not planning on getting dropped like that, and making it that bloody again. So we're making way.
Uh, Back at the Apex, though, like that about the only disappointment for you? Like, you get the quick turnaround, you get the fight, but then just like back at the Apex, like, that's the only disappointment.
That's exactly it. That's the only thing I'm like slightly bummed about is being back at the Apex. But I'm so used to it there, so it's nice, like being there just because I'm so used to it and it's familiar space. But it's my seventh fight in a row at the Apex if you include all the tough fights. So after this one, unless I'm co-main or main event, I'll take a co-main or main event spot at the Apex if it means I have to stay there. But I'll take that any day, over a big card. But if I'm just gonna be on the card, I'd way rather have a pay-per-view in front of a big arena. I want to be in front of a crowd. I haven't fought in front of a crowd since I was back here in Spokane.
That's the another bright spot though with the date is like you probably won't be enough time to get another one this year. So I guess you can enjoy like Thanksgiving and Christmas. Then don't got to worry about cutting weight during that.
Oh, dude, I'm so excited about that. I've missed out on so many Christmases, so many Thanksgivings for the sport, and I'm excited to just be able to spend it with my family. Spend it with the family, and eat with the family. That's for sure.
This fight kind of caught me off by surprise. Like, I didn't really think Jake would be next to you. Like, did it also surprise you getting his name offered?
100%. Yeah, I like he wasn't even on my radar. I always am looking at who's the other prospects, and yeah, I was thinking maybe Talbot. I don't know, like someone along those lines, but I don't know if they don't like this dude or what. But like, I'll take it.
What did he make his last fight? Like, moved up the bantamweight on short notice. Like, I thought he was gonna lose that Kylan guy, and he ended up putting on a pretty good performance to beat him.
Yeah, he did. He did what he needed to do to win, which it wasn't like a great fight. Like he just like got out of the way and jabbed his face off, which was pretty good. But I also personally think that Callan dude is trash. I think he sucks. So I don't take that win like too close to heart, just because I think that Irish dude is like not good. I think he's like a big slug and he just can't really move, and he's like he looks the part. He's like jacked, but he's like not really athletic. Um, but yeah, that's just my opinion. And I didn't like that he was talking a lot of shit, so that's why I'm saying that. But I Jake looked great in that fight. He moved good. He had good boxing, and I know Jake has good grappling. So if he did get taken down, I'm sure you would have had a few answers for that guy as well.
Uh, with Jake, though, like, he's a former flyweight, so do you think he will have like a strength advantage over him?
Probably. I feel like I got a strength advantage almost over most people at bantamweight, let alone guys that come up. But he's also strong. Those some of those flyweights are pretty strong. So I'm not looking past him at all. I'm sure he's got some slick jujitsu. You can be strong as hell, but if you get caught in something, obviously that don't matter. That's a cool part about jujitsu. So I'm really aware of all that grappling and stuff. But yeah, I'm ready to get out there.
I know you sometimes are in Vegas. I know obviously the most part is out in Pacific Northwest. Is it all out in Washington for this camp?
Yeah, because the main thing is this guy's a southpaw, and this is why I wanted the fight so bad. Is this is the first time I fought a southpaw, and so there's not really anyone that would help me down in Vegas for the southpaw look. I love going down there and training with the highest level guys, just because um, they push me and they give me a really good tests and stuff like that, and I get to see how I'm progressing. But the main thing for this camp is finding good southpaws and some guys that are good at jits off their back, and obviously working on my wrestling and stuff like that. But so I found a few guys that are southpaw up here in the Pacific Northwest, and so that's what I'm working with this camp.
How do you kind of see this one playing out? Like, Jake is very durable dude. Like, he's never been finished his career. We know, like, you are a finisher. You get these guys out. Like, how do you kind of see it playing out then?
Yeah, I feel like I wear him out. He's never been finished, but I do see him like kind of gas a little bit in the later rounds. You saw it with Cody Duran, you saw it with a few other guys. So I feel like it's just gonna go that way. I anticipate a second or third round finish. I'm a finisher and I love to just go out there. So as soon as I see a chink in the armor or someone starting to like way down or something like that, I'll take my advantage. But if it turns into a 3 round, me just mauling him, I'll take that too. I'm there for all of it.
Uh, where do you think a win here puts you? Like, I think like you're kind of right on the cusp, maybe getting a ranked guy.
Yeah, I think if I win this, I think I deserve a top 15 guy. I feel like I have a few guys in mind. I'll hop on the mic and say it, but I feel like once I beat Jake Hadley, that's 4-0. That's huge for bantamweight. Bantamweight's the most stacked division in the UFC, and the fact that I've gone 4-0 and once I finish Jake, that'll be 3 finishes. I feel like that's not really that common in this division, so I feel like I deserve a top 15 spot.
And it's pretty crazy, like only 25. So do you still think like you're not even at like reaching your like full potential yet? Like you're still probably a couple years away from that and you're already doing this?
Oh, 1,000%. I feel like I'm getting better all the time. Not even close to my prime. I feel like I feel like I'm a late bloomer in a sense. I literally grew up after Tough. Like if you look at before and after pictures from Tough, I look like a little boy when I'm on the season. And then afterwards I finally grew up and grew into my body. So I feel like not only am I like not at my prime, I feel like I'm years away because I'm a little bit of a late bloomer. And my skills are catching up, my fight IQ's catching up, and my striking's catching up to my grappling. That's always been nasty.
What is kind of the goal then for you going forward? Like, imagine this is it for the year, but I imagine time guys could probably start off the year pretty early.
Yeah, obviously I want to get to the holidays. Like you said, I want to eat grub, but I think like February, maybe March, April. I would even be happy with like an April. Get one in right before my birthday, just so I don't want to destroy my body cut all the time. And I know once I finish this dude, I'll be in a good position, and but I'll take whatever they give me. If they move me back in there right away, I'll hop back in. I might not like it, but I'll do whatever it takes.
And maybe a card out in Seattle or Washington next year. Like you got like maybe if Juliana wins the belt, like she can be on it. You can get like you and Kies on it. Like I feel like there's enough guys out there where you can have a card out there.
For sure, dude. There's so many guys. If you look at a Ricky Simone's from Washington, Julian De La Rosa's from Washington, Terrence McKinney's from Spokane, Washington. We could like literally make a full card from Washington if when Pena wins the belt, get Mike on there, co-main, and then we could all just fill in all the blanks. But that would be amazing. I would love to fight in Seattle. Have all my friends and family finally come out to my fight. That's another downside of the Apex is only like 4 people can get in from my team other than my corner. And so it would be nice to have all my friends and family that haven't seen me fight in like 3 years finally come out.
Well, Brady, I appreciate the time as always. Thanks for doing this again.
Yeah, no, thank you for having me on.